Hello and welcome to ABW Live, the Southampton game. How are we all? I hope you're all okay. I am suffering. I hope you watched the rugby yesterday. If you're an English rugby fan, unlucky, never mind. Onwards and upwards. I'm sorry, guys. I am so hungover. I may have to leave to go to the toilet. It's not good today. It's really not good. But in the box, we have Guna73, ARGH, J-Rob, Just Add Chemical X, Ron Ree, Monkey Magics, Chris Hopkins, Pat Brady, Frank Gunner's there. My computer's as slow as I am. Jez Fulbrook, My 25, Junior Gunner. Daniel Cronin. John Bernstein, Thomas from Norway, Pete Coulson, J-Rob, Bo Vickery, Stephen Edwards, Josh Gonmay, Matthew Hudson. How are we all? I hope you are all okay. In any case, joining me today, we have my brother from another mother. It's John Welsh. Say hello, John.
Hello, John. I'd ask how you are, Jace, but I know you're in a mix between celebrating and feeling dreadful for celebrating too much.
Honest to God, okay, I woke up this morning, I didn't know where I was. There's clothes all over the place. Jesus wept. It's not good. Not good. Also joining me, we have our cousin from across the pond. It's Colonial Colonel Jason Schrader. Hello, Shreds. Say hello.
Hello. I was in your situation yesterday morning, so I fully sympathize with you. And I've watched about 30 minutes of rugby, and 20 minutes of it was yesterday. So congrats to Wales on that. It looked like a proper rugby match.
It was brutal. It was brilliant.
Had no clue what was going on, but it looked like a good toss up there.
I tell you what, I would not like to be in the middle of that lot. They were brutal yesterday. It was a hell of a game. Bo Vickery, correct. Come on. Right, guys, let's get into it, is it? We've just beaten Southampton. Oh, my God, I hate Southampton. I hope they go down. Scummy bunch of... can't stand them. John, lineups. No Ozil, but four at the back. Talk me through it.
Was happy to see four at the back. Was happy to see Kolasinac over Nacho. Again, nothing against Nacho. I really like him. I do think he's probably a better left back, but when you've got Kolasinac in the team, you know it's going to be more adventurous. It's more pushing forwards. I was happy that he switched to just the one up front again. I know Aubameyang and Lacazette, obviously they do dovetail nicely together, but I just think we flow better as a team when we've just got the one focal point. And Al was very effective coming off the bench. As for the Ozil thing, I wouldn't read too much into it. I mean, I thought he played okay on Thursday against Barté, but he hasn't played a lot of games the last month, 6 weeks. Going to take a while to get up to match fitness, and we've got I think a game in 3 days, another game in 3 days after that. So it's getting a little bit congested in this period. So he's going to do some rotation. But yeah, overall the lineup I thought was pretty much what I expected. The only disappointment, I guess, was Lichtsteiner at right back again. Although he did actually have a good game.
I'm beginning to wonder about all this, boys. I'm not being funny. We haven't got many options at right back, but there's a lot of negativity around Lichtsteiner, around Mustafi. You know what I mean? They constantly seem to be getting a slagging, yet their performances today, you can't knock either of them.
No, I agree. I just it always worries me when I see him at fullback, because he is more of a wing back than he is a fullback. He's much better going forward than he is necessarily defending. But yeah, like you say, I thought he had a good game.
Cool. Shreds. Southampton started pretty well. We were under pressure in the early stages of this game, weren't we? There was a particularly good challenge from Socrates to cut out an attack on us. Were you concerned early doors?
Actually, surprisingly, I wasn't that concerned. I think that my biggest concern was just the fullbacks that we had, but they, like everybody stated before, they played really well today. And it was one of those games where, no, I wasn't concerned for some reason. We seemed to be really, really settled, and yeah, we had some tough moments, but early on, I think we held our mettle pretty well. And you mentioned the challenge from Socrates, or a couple other good challenges there, and I think a lot of credit today goes to Mkhitaryan and Iwobi, because they did a really pretty good job defensively covering the fullbacks, and then Socrates and Mustafi, when they were in at center back, I think did a really decent job. So wasn't too concerned early on. I knew Southampton were going to come out and be up for it, but we weathered their storm. Or we weathered the
Jay, you've gone there, mate. Jay, I've lost your sound, pal. I've lost your sound. Right, whilst we get Jay back, quick shout out, Yvonne Okofo. And she's in with another donation. You are our favourite, Yvonne. Thank you ever so much. Really, really appreciate it. And she says, back into the top 4 we go. Correct. Well, I don't know what the hell's happening in Liverpool United, though. What's the score in Liverpool United, John?
I think it finished 0-0 with about 1 million injuries.
Oh! Let's hope.
United had to make 3 subs, I think, in all 3 subs in the first half through injuries.
Oh.
Yeah, it did finish 0-0. Yeah. Yep.
Cool. So we're back in the top 4. Nice. Jay, can you hear me? Are you able to talk?
Oh, no, I think he's going to rejoin the chat
right.
in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, John, we see a good save from Leno from Redmond. They beat our offside trap really easily, didn't it? It didn't look good. I was wondering, how the hell did we get suckered in like that?
Yeah, I mean, when that ball went over the top, he was 10, 15 yards maybe clear at the time. And I thought, oh, the flag's going to go up. It'll do the usual thing where, he won't put his flag up until he's touched the ball. But yeah, it was so easy. And that was the only time I thought they got in really well behind us, but it did worry me. And that save from Leno, it's weird to say in a game where Leno basically had 2 saves today, but you could argue he's man of the match, because I think the saves at the time he made them, although I expect him to make them, those kind of saves he did, they're so important because they're such key points in the game. It really could have changed the I hate the word narrative, to use a phrase I really hate, of the game and the way it was going at the time.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And from that save, we counter, and we countered really, really quickly. Good movement everywhere. The ball comes to comes into the box. There's a penalty shout for a challenge on Iwobi, which was a stone cold penalty, but Lacazette finishes off and we go 1-0 up. It was a bit bonkers, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was nuts because I was on a slight delay because I was watching on a stream. So me and Steve were chatting about it. We're going, oh God, that's so lucky, Redmond. We've got to watch out for that, sort of offside. And then Steve's instantly laughing in the chat box because we've gone up the other end and scored. So finally, my stream catches up, and I think was it Mkhitaryan had the shot, looked like it was going wide, and just Lacazette in the right place taps it in. I didn't actually see the challenge because on the stream I was watching, they kept showing the replay to see if Lacazette was offside or not. He was well onside in the end. I think it might be someone was playing him on, but they didn't actually show the they didn't show the challenge on. Was it Torreira or Iwobi? I can't remember now.
Iwobi.
Yeah. But I mean, on initial reaction, just the way all the players went nuts for it, it looked like it was definitely a penalty. But the ref, I thought, was really good today. He played advantage a lot of times. Did it again there. We got the goal. And you can even see actually the ref's reaction, like the goal. He sort of blows his whistle and does the signal and everything. And you can see he's kind of half laughing, as like, well, you were probably going to get a penalty anyway. But yeah, that was a weird goal.
It was. Jace, welcome back. Your thoughts on the goal, because I was really impressed the speed of the break. I was really impressed. I thought Mkhitaryan had put a cross in, but there's a deflection. What did you think?
Yeah, I think part of the deflection was the fact that he mishit the volley so bad that takes the deflection and goes to Lock. And again, it's one of those. I said it early on, and I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Mkhitaryan, but he had a really good game today, but he had such a bad miss hit that it actually was good. It was one of those where it's like one of the things that I try to pull off that it comes off so terribly that it actually goes to the right teammate by accident, which is what happened here, and it was really good. And the fact that Leno had made the save, and then we go down and we instantly sort of score. You could really see that take a lot of the momentum and sort of fight out of Southampton at that time. And I think we really dominated the rest of the first half, especially. And it was such a great little momentum swing for us right there in that moment. And all credit to Iwobi for getting into a position where he should have been a penalty. Obviously, wasn't called because we ended up scoring. And then the one thing I'll say about Mkhitaryan today was he was in the right spot in the box a majority of the day today, and we saw that he was awarded with a bad volley that turned into an assist. And I love it seeing Lacazette score. I know the pod's good friend Leno was there, so I'm sure she was quite thrilled as well.
Well, that's all I got to say for Unai is he's lucky we won today because Lana would have had him otherwise. I tell you what. I tell you one thing. There were threats. There were threats made. It was funny. John, we saw some really good football in the first half. There was an incident where Xhaka puts a really good shot in, just goes wide. But it was fantastic football from us. Southampton were pressing. We played a lot of one-touch stuff to beat the press, and then we attacked with great pace. It was nice to see after what can only be described as some dire football from us in recent weeks.
Oh, yeah. It was really nice. Very much like Michael Hanneman with the donation there. Tappy, tappy, be like the Arsenal and be a winner. Love that.
Oh, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. But yeah, no, today was, it was the speed at which we played. The tempo was there in the game today, and you could see, Treader got it spot on. I think Southampton they're not necessarily in the game, but they were causing a few little problems. And the moment we got that goal, you could see everyone's spirits was lifted. I thought we even started the game quite well as it was, but the passing was quicker. It was a lot of 1-2s. There was a lot of one-touch stuff. In and around the box, it was a lot faster. It wasn't this kind of very slow, progressive. We go down one side. Oh, okay. We don't get, the pullback option for Kolasinac, and we come back out and go around the other side again. It was so much faster. And the other thing as well was that people were willing to have a shot today. Like you said, the Xhaka one where he lined it up and he put it just wide. I think Terrell had a couple of shots as well, Mkhitaryan. So everyone was playing really well. Kolasinac and Iwobi were linking up brilliantly down the right-hand side, and Lichtsteiner was actually showing what he can do when he goes forward. Some of his crosses into the box today I thought were really, really good.
Yeah, one player in particular I want to mention, Jay, coming to you, Iwobi. I know, as soon as I'd written this, okay, as soon as I wrote this down, he gave the bloody ball away, okay? But I thought Iwobi was looking really good on the counter. I thought he had showed good movement. His passing at times was excellent. Yes, the few went astray, but that's always going to happen. What were your thoughts on Iwobi, pal?
Yeah, he's somebody who over the last probably month or so has really grown into I think this system and has really made a name for himself on the team sheet. And even when he has given the ball away, those mistakes have gotten further and further up the pitch. So they don't. When he does give the ball away now, that we're not being punished like we were before, which is really key. I think especially when you have a defense like ours who's known to ship goals. So. He's taking players on like we want. He's creating some really good space and starting to drag defenders out, which is really opening up the pitch for other players to run into that space. And he's been doing a pretty good job of finding those players. And as much as we all have sort of berated Iwobi, and I think it was Gutterblog and Arsblog on one of the last Arscast extras that said this is a kid that's come up through the academy system with us. Like he's been with us for years now, and he's still like 21, 22 years old. Like, I think we all forget that. Like, he's nowhere near a footballer's prime, and we're getting some really good football out of him right now. And he's still going to have games where he looks a little lost and doesn't track back probably and gives the ball away in stupid positions. But you're starting to see that decision making that I think a lot of people sort of slated him for so long, myself included. You're starting to see that slowly get better and slowly improve. And if we just continue to give him some patience, allow him to grow and develop, and allow him to, he's still going to make mistakes. We have, more senior players in the team who make bigger mistakes than he does. And we just got to continue to be patient, because in the next 5 to 7 years, he could grow into a really, really outstanding football player for the Arsenal.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I'm enjoying watching him play at the moment. I really am. And you can see, yes, there's going to be mistakes. There were a couple of incidents where he's chosen the wrong option, but he's getting into positions to make those mistakes, if you know what I mean. And his decision making will get better. Right, Mr. Bob Blex. Yes, you should order pizza. Guna 73 without pineapple. Never have pineapple on a pizza. It's just wrong. Okay, it's disgusting. It's wrong. No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Just quickly on the Iwobi thing, I think the other big difference is that Mkhitaryan's back in the team now. Ramsey was playing today. You had Ozil in the Barca game. He's had more options around him in recent games. Whereas you think previous to that, he's been our only creative player on the pitch, realistically, trying to do everything, to be the link between the midfield and the strikers. And he had to do a lot of that all on his own, or rely on an overlap from Kolasinac. And they've literally been the only options we've had, partly down to team selection, but also, through injuries and stuff. So I think when he's got other players around him who will also make the movement, you get the best out of him, because it's not all on him to do everything. It frees him up and it gives him a little bit of space and time on the ball as well.
I absolutely agree, mate. I absolutely agree. And, it's one of the big criticisms I have of Unai Emery is that, you watch us today, we had fantastic movement, okay? Down the middle of the park, not just on the flanks. Like we've been, he's been concentrating on the flanks. It's been ridiculous. We've played some dog shit football recently. But today I thought he got his team selection right. I thought the movement was excellent. I thought whoever was on the ball in attacking areas had options. Do you know what I mean? There was always somebody coming into space. You saw some lovely football from us at times. And no doubt he's going to go to 5 at the back for the midweek game. And, again... I got to be honest with you. You saw against Tottenham, a fantastic performance for it, and he doesn't try to replicate it. No,
I will admit, if I'm an opposition manager, I have no idea how to set my team up to play Arsenal, because I can never predict the lineup correctly or anything. It's like literally, I think the only player I ever get right is like the goalkeeper, because if it's a Premier League game or if it's cup competition, you can call Czech or Leno, and probably Iwobi. Is like maybe Xhaka. They're like the 2 or 3 players. The rest of the team, no idea. Got no idea on formation, who's playing where or whatever.
Well, even until the last couple of matches, Xhaka hadn't been playing regularly. He's been coming back from that injury, so even that is like harder and harder to figure out. And it does create a problem if somebody's trying to match up against us. I think the other thing that it does is it creates a problem because it means that our players, and I think a lot of this is due to injury, and Unai still probably not knowing what his best 11 is at this point in the season, sadly. Probably again due to injury, but it creates some chemistry issues with our some of our teammates. But I think we're starting to overcome that a little bit better now, since basically from the midfield forward, we've been pretty fortunate not to have too many injuries. It's just that back line that's been tough.
Yeah, but it's only the back line that he's had the real injury issues, okay? Going up the middle and, from midfield and what have you, some of his selections, I'm sorry, I'm not giving him a pass in it. I just don't think, I just think he's not giving himself a chance to succeed, because as much as you can pick a different style for different games, etc., you need to have... that which to build on, and I don't think he's done that this season, and that's and that's why I'm not particularly happy with him. But go on, Jay.
Lineup you've probably played since December, and you've kept 2 clean sheets in a row.
And this is the thing, okay? I just, the Barty away game, all the excuses about that. It was an embarrassing performance from us, and that's not knocking Barty. As Josh Shaw pointed out, they've played very well in certain games, but we were awful that day, and it's down to 9 now to really pull us together, and so we can, go on to challenge for the Europa League Cup and get top 4. Because if he does that, he's had a solid season. John, Kolasinac gets a shoulder in the face. What were your thoughts on that?
I didn't think it was intentional. I know everyone hates Southampton and thinks they are the new Stoke or whatever. It's quite funny because obviously some of the guys from the chat know Ross, who was on the Football Hipsters with me previously. Big Southampton fan. I always talk to him about the games, and we were chatting about it today and everything. And he always finds it funny that Arsenal seem to think Saints are such a physical and rough team. It's just accidental. They've both gone for the ball. Clashes his head's down a little bit. He's caught a shoulder. These things happen. I saw some fans screaming that Southampton should have put the ball out. I mean, if that was at Arsenal and it was the other way around, it was a Saints player on the floor, I wouldn't want us to put the ball out. It's down to the referee. So I didn't think there was anything wrong with it, to be honest. I thought the referee was actually really good today. Thought he let things go. He let play go on. He called back for fouls and booked people afterwards and gave the advantage. So yeah, I didn't think there was anything wrong with it.
Yeah, the only criticism I'd have in that instant was it's a head injury. You're supposed to stop the game straight away.
Yeah, again, but that's down to the referee. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not down to the Southampton players to put the ball out. Yeah, look, I mean they're concentrating on the game of football, and also you can see Steve actually made a really good point of the goal we scored, the Lacazette one. All the Southampton players are sort of appealing for offside, and some of our players are appealing for the penalty on Iwobi, but we actually just played on and played to the whistle, and we got the goal because of it. Whereas in previous times we might have been all screaming there saying, "Where's the penalty? Where's the penalty?" and then not, maybe not scored the goal.
Yeah, no, it's very much so. Very much. I think you got a good point there. Shreds. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm going to die in a bit now. This is horrendous. Then the Mkhitaryan goal comes along. Good work from Lacazette impressing the keeper, force him into a mistake. Iwobi picks up the ball, puts in a cross, gets a little bit of a deflection, but Mkhitaryan makes no mistake, does he?
Sorry, was that to me or Shredder? I think Shredder just dropped out. He's back. There we go. Are you back, Shredder? I think he's having some internet issues, Jace.
Okay, go with that then.
I've got sound issues here, sadly, so I just had to ditch the headset here. What was
there,
Jace?
The Mkhitaryan goal, pal. We see good work from Lacazette impressing the keeper, forcing them into a mistake. Iwobi picks the ball up from a poor clearance from them, puts a cross and gets a little bit of a deflection to Mkhitaryan, but he makes no mistake, does he?
No mistake at all. And again, that comes down to, I think his positioning was extremely intelligent today and just happened to be in the right place right there. Because even if that ball wasn't deflected, I still think he does eventually get there and slot it home as well. So, but yeah, I think, again, I've said it in the group. I think I've said it on here before that Lacazette's been, in my opinion, our best player from front to back now. For this season, and it's his work rate and everything he does off the ball and without the ball, as well as his goal scoring prowess as well. That's really, I think, kept us where we are in the league right now. And when he presses like that and creates those issues, and then you've got Iwobi again making an intelligent decision and proper positioning, and then you've got him able to put a good ball in still that took the deflection though, and then Mkhitaryan there to slot home, and what a cool, calm finish. To go just under the keeper's hand there at his near post. And really, really, really good sort of all-around work ethic type of goal and an intelligent sort of attacking movement once we won the ball back.
Absolutely. John, your thoughts on the goal? Because I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, just really good quick movement. Again, good interplay between the players. Yeah, there's a bit of luck. Iwobi's doing the right thing, though. He's trying to get the ball in as early as possible. Bit of luck in the deflection, but really calm finish from Mkhitaryan, who, like Shredder, I'm not his biggest fan, but I thought today he played really, really well. Much better. He was really good in driving with the ball. His link-up play was really good. And I just thought his work rate overall was much more impressive than what it seemed maybe earlier in the season.
Yeah, it's nice to see. He's obviously a talented player, but let's make no bones about it. We've not seen the best of him this season at all. So it's nice to see him, have an influence on the game and really contribute, because that's just going to give him confidence, and hopefully, we'll see better from him towards as the end of the season run-in starts. Jay, Kolasinac has a shot into the box, absolute belter. I don't know which Southampton player it was. His arm's out. It is ball to hand, but his arms are not in a natural position. Did you think we should have had a penalty for that?
This one's tough because I could see it sort of being called either way. And I do think that if that happened against us and it was called a penalty, I'd probably be a little aggrieved. Because you do the rule of if you look, I think in the actual rules, it's there. He has to be sort of far enough away to be able to try to get his hand away from the ball. And I don't think he was. I think the ball was hit with such pace that he couldn't really do anything about it. But at the same time, you're right. It was in an unnatural position. It was a little up. And so that's tough. And that's one reason why I'm not a Premier League referee, is because I don't want to have to make that call. I'm fine with it not being called, especially, with the outcome today. I may be a little hypocritical if we had maybe lost the match or something. I may be shouting for that, just being biased there. But no, it's tough, and I don't think I would have called it. But at the same time, it's one of those really, really gray areas in the game right now that, depending upon the referee and how he views it, you may get it one week, you may not get it the next.
No, yeah.
That's the most indifferent answer I can possibly give on that, because I literally do not know.
It's one of those. The only annoyance I had the referee today, John, was Southampton starting to rack up the fouls. Okay, there was always a foot left in. There was always something happening, and the referee just let it go all the time. I mean, I'm amazed there were no cards shown to anybody from Southampton. What were your thoughts on that? Because it really annoyed me, to be honest.
I didn't think that. I thought the ref had a good game and he let most things go. Could he have booked a Southampton player? Probably. Does it really matter? It's all down to the referee's interpretation of what's just because someone has committed a foul, it doesn't mean automatically it's a yellow card. There was a Mustafi challenge when he shifted to right back and he came sliding in from the back, wins the ball, but it's just a slide in from behind, which by the definition in the rule book is supposed to be a yellow card, but he doesn't book in for that. So are we going to call that one as well? I thought the game was pretty...
Mustafi won the ball cleanly, hardly touched the guy. The guy dived there. Come on.
Yeah, but by the rule book, you're not supposed to tackle from behind, and it's an automatic yellow card. So, yeah, and he doesn't give a yellow card for that. So it's, I didn't think there was any. I didn't think there was like any nasty, vicious, like dirty challenges. I just thought that we played the ball quicker. I thought a couple of times we drew the fouls intentionally. Like Xhaka definitely drew fouls intentionally. Lacazette did as well. A few times when we went down easy to win free kicks and stuff just to annoy Southampton, which is again fine with me. I quite like that. The fact that we're doing that kind of thing now is good. So maybe it's like the thing with the handball. Like Jace Shredder said, it can go either way. It's very 50-50. The problem is all those kind of things and all those little niggly fouls, there's no clear definition in the rules one way or the other. That's down to the referee and the PGMOL and all that to clear that up.
I will say I do think what should have been not a straight red, but definitely a yellow was that the Obafemi foul on Xhaka was egregious. High-ish on the ankle, coming in, reckless, was never going to win the ball, slightly from behind.
Yeah, that I could have seen
that,
given as
that
a yellow.
definitely should have been a yellow. And he got a good talking to. Yeah, whatever. Should have been a yellow.
I think that's a case of he's just come on the pitch and that's why he hasn't booked him.
Yeah, I think he did speak to him in all fairness, didn't he? But I do agree with you, Shreds. I thought that's a straight yellow, but there you go. Shreds, coming to you. We have an Iwobi effort. He's driven up the middle. He's got runners either side of him. He's got Ramsey free. He takes the shot. It's blocked. That's probably my only criticism of him today. Is that the one time he should have actually passed the ball, but then you know. He's driven up there. He deserves to have the opportunity to shoot, does he?
Yeah, he absolutely does. And I think, if I was him in that position, I probably would have done the same thing. And I think that was actually one of the better things that Southampton did today. Was there a couple of shots that I thought for sure we were going to get off, and they were just throwing their bodies in the way and just getting there. And I think that's where sort of they caused us the most problems, really. When we were going forward, was just getting bodies in front of the ball when it was coming off our feet. And but yeah, I think again, just some decision making. He'd had a really great game, and he'd been really unselfish earlier in the match, and giving the ball, I think, to Laka and a couple of times, and Laka had a couple of the sitters that he missed. And I think we just said, I'll just take this into my own hands and see what we can't do. But it was a great block from Southampton, and yeah, You like to see the Ramseys and the Lakas and the Mkhitaryan's get upset when they have open space and don't get the ball, but I also like the confidence of Iwobi to be able to say, no, I'm gonna take this on myself and I'm gonna shoot and see if I can't create something for myself here. So that's again, just growing into his role with us and having the confidence to say, no, I'm gonna be man enough to take the shot, and if it doesn't come off, I'll own it.
Yeah, and I hate to agree with you all the time, but yeah, I do agree with that. John,
who'd have thunk it? Who'd have thunk it?
It's one of those, isn't it? If he passes, I think we've got more of a chance to score. But he's done the hard work. Do you know what I mean? And I think now and again, you've got to be a little greedy in football. You've got to have a crack and try to make things happen for yourself. John, you see some really good work from Lichtsteiner and Kolasinac, which puts Lacazette with basically just the keeper to beat in the box. And he absolutely butchers it. He skied it. He doesn't half miss some sitters at times, does he?
That was, very confusing because some of his finishing is so composed sometimes, and he would be number one on my list of people to take penalties and all those kind of things. But I really don't know how he missed that. I assumed, I know we obviously mentioned Lana being at the game. I messaged her and I said, did you flash him or something, like as he was running into the box, and just distracted him because of how much she obviously loves Lacazette. It was the only reasoning I could think of. Very, very weird. Look, he probably should have had a hat-trick today. Yeah. And he'll be annoyed with himself. But I like that. I like the fact that he is one of those people who will leave the pitch, even if he scored 3 goals, he'd be like, well, I should have scored 4. And he'd be annoyed at himself for it. So, disappointing we didn't get more today. But I just thought the overall team performance and the way he played, other than those misses, I thought Lacazette again was excellent today.
I love the guy. I genuinely love the guy. I think he's he gives us so much, but all strikers miss them. Now, talking of wonderful people, Mike Hernandez is in there with $4.99. Thank you very much, Michael. You're an absolute star. And he says it's Lacazette FC, in my opinion. Hello, gents. Sorry I'm late. Tappy. Has Socrates surpassed some fans' expectations? Well, we'll answer that in the questions section, Mike. But for the donation, much appreciated, pal.
Some fans there, meaning Jason Davis.
I'll answer that myself. I will answer that myself. Hey boys, I don't dodge the big questions. Okay, you may not like the answer, but I don't dodge the big questions. Shreds, you see then a Lacazette shot saved by Gunn again. More good work from Kolasinac, I thought was excellent today. And then you saw a little bit of a bit of an incident to Jack Stevens of Southampton, where Stevens kind of pulled at Lacazette's beard, and Lacazette returned the favour. My last note on the first half is Jack Stevens is a massive twat. Okay, what were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, just twatty behavior. And if you're going to pull a grown man's beard and you don't expect your beard to get pulled back, like you can F right off, right? Trying to keep this as somewhat family friendly as we can, because I do have stronger words for it. But yeah, just don't be a twat. Like, you're a grown man. Stop pulling other men's beards. Grow up. Have your balls dropped yet, Mr. Stevens? Probably not.
Absolutely, Bill. Absolutely.
Sorry.
Right. It's that time of day again, people. It's that time of day again. The Arsenal have won 2-0. We're all happy. It's a lovely sunny day in Cardiff. It's lovely. I got a steaming hangover. And yet, I've only got 61 likes. Only 61 likes. Now, if I'm good enough, okay, to be here for you, when I want to be in bed feeling sorry for myself or have my head in the pan being sick because I really am dying, it would be nice of you to tap that like button. You know, go on, give it a nudge. Tappy, let's get fucking going. Your grandparents right about now are just thinking, should I write them out of the will? They're not giving him the likes he deserves. They're not giving him the likes he wants. Should I write him out of the will? Because you're an absolute disgrace. Come on, get us up to 90 right now. Tappy, let's get going, people. I'm still laughing at Chris doing that midweek. I tell you what, people, this has become painful. Come on, 71 now. Come on, let's go. We need another 19. Let's go. Please, quick. Shot, tappy. Let's get going.
Do you think maybe they're like Lacazette and they're trying to hit the tappy button, but they're just going wide each time?
I'm not. They may be. Oh, we got somebody in the chat. Somebody in the chat box called James Lamprell. And James Lamprell says, Arsenal are still wank. Thank you for your opinion, James. Nobody gives a fuck about you. Take care. Goodbye. John, we start the second half, and it was a bit of a flat start from us, wasn't it? We didn't really get into the game, into the second half that quickly. You had Ward-Prowse shooting wide from a Xhaka mistake, another loose pass across the front of the box. Typical Xhaka, eh?
Yeah, that was his one disappointment of the game. I thought, other than that, he had a really, really good performance, and he was pulling the strings, in particular in the first half. But brain fart moment. I don't know. Just the whole team kind of dropped a little bit. I think they'd knocked the stuffing out of Southampton, and I think they just thought Saints aren't going to come back into this, and the whole tempo kind of dropped. The second half in general was really, really flat. Even Southampton didn't, really push until, I don't know, last 5 minutes. They went for it a little bit. They made that double change, and then Obafemi went off injured, which obviously cocked up their plans a little bit. But there wasn't a lot to talk about in the second half, to be honest. It was a little bit to miss on that.
It was shit. I love giving you the Xhaka ones when he makes a mistake, but he did really play well today. He really played well.
I mean, I don't want to hype him up too much, because I will say that there is an argument for Southampton not remotely closing him down at all in the first half and giving him all the time in the world to go, oh, well, I'm quite good at passing, so you're not going to close me down. Cool. I'll just pick out this 60-yard ball for Iwobi or Lacazette or anyone else. Give me all the time in the world. That's fine. So it's weird that when they changed and went 4-4-2, our midfield struggled a little bit more, I thought, in the second half. But I think it's a case of us just like taking our foot off the gas and Southampton attempting to play a bit. But it was really, really bitty. Lots of broken up play in the second half. There was no consistency at all in it, I thought.
No, absolutely. Jay, we see when we do start to get into the second half, Rambo puts a ball across the goal. Mkhitaryan kind of checked his run. It should have been 3-0, shouldn't it? But nobody got on the end of it.
Yeah. That's one of the more, I think, disappointing parts of our movement today was that run of play, because it was a really good ball from Iwobi to, an interplay between Iwobi and Ramsey gets into great position by the byline and just locks at the penalty spot. Looks like, I think maybe Mkhitaryan thought he was going to try to go for it, so he backed off. Maybe he hoped if there's a ricochet, I don't know why he checked his run up and there was just nobody there. But yeah, again, really good interplay, to build up to a really good position, and then just nothing there. But that was I think most of our second half was we didn't really press the gas at all, and we just sort of let them try to bring some pressure on and see if we couldn't catch them on the counter. But yeah, nice lazy way to see out a 2-0 win.
Yeah, it was a bit annoying, wasn't it? You saw Lichtsteiner replaced by Koscielny. Obviously had an issue. Then we get to see Ozil replace Rambo. John, we get a bit of Arsenal pressure. But then all of a sudden we see Leno saved from Austin from a corner that should have been a goal kick. And I got to be honest, you mentioned this beginning of the show, but I thought Leno played really well today.
Yeah, he was called on, twice, I think, in the game, really. They're both saves you expect him to make, but you still have to go out there and do it. And in a game where you're, 80% of it, you're just stood there doing nothing and just watching your team have the ball, because, we had, I think we had like 70% possession or something in the first half, and Southampton really didn't test us. It's important to keep that concentration, especially for those moments, because you go back to the first half with the Redmond chance. If he scores that, it's 1-0 to Southampton. The flow of the game's totally different. You go to the one you're talking about now with Austin. If he scores that, it's late on, it's 2-1. Maybe the nerves creep in. The crowd all of a sudden goes from, well, this second half has been a bit flat, but we're, comfortable, to hang on a minute, and maybe the boo boys come back in. It gets in the player's head, that kind of thing. So that is massively important. And I think it's weird. It's moments like that in a game that will change it, and change the result from what ended up being a very comfortable win, where we probably should have won maybe by 4 or 5, to, oh, this could have been one of those ones we've thrown away and ended up with a draw or a loss. And just those 2 moments alone, I think that's where you really want your keeper just to perform, and he did that really, really well today.
No, absolutely. I got to be honest. I've seen some discussion about upgrading keeper. Some of the boys have spoken about it on here. I don't get it. I think we do need. Obviously we're going to have to replace Czech, but I think Leno's developing quite nicely. I don't see the issue when you look at our defense and some of the shit shows they've put in this season. I'm amazed he's done so well, to be honest with you. He's cutting out the errors he made at the beginning, and his ability to play the ball out serves us really well. So I'm a bit confused by it. Jay, then we see Unai was going to take Lacazette off for Aubameyang, but he cancelled as Iwobi went down. So all of a sudden, Aubameyang comes on to replace Iwobi. What do you think the thinking was by taking off Lacazette? Because I found that really strange.
I think what he's trying to do is he knows he can only use Lacazette right now in the league and not in Europa League. So I think he's trying to save his legs a little bit, because we've got 3 league games, basically within the span of 6 days here. And he's trying to protect, his league striker and also try to get his Europa League striker some minutes as well to keep him fresh. So I didn't really see too much of an issue with it, just in terms of trying to keep your players fresh, especially when we only played one up top. Lacazette did a lot of work today. But again, with the Iwobi going down, it sort of became a moot point, because now you had to bring Laka onto the left, or excuse me, Aubameyang onto the left, and keep Laka in there. And I think that's wise. He's just trying to make sure that he doesn't overuse Lacazette in these games where we've already sort of seen it out, and make sure that he continues to stay fresh for our midweek match.
Yeah, you've got to think, Jace. We've got Bournemouth next, the extremely physical team that Bournemouth are. Because obviously Emery said about that earlier in the season, so you can't make sure Lacazette's fresh for that.
I just saw Lacazette's face when he saw his number going up, and he
always looks disappointed when he's coming off, doesn't he? Yeah.
Absolutely. John, the game got messy. You had plenty of pressure. There were no clear-cut chances. You saw Gunn make a great save. We put Aubameyang broke into the box. He was putting a cross in for Laka. It got a ricochet, but Gunn made a great save from that deflection. It didn't quite happen for second half, did it?
Yeah, just the tempo went a little bit. Excuse me. We didn't have quite as much control in midfield. They didn't give Xhaka as much time, and Torreira. I think Lichtsteiner coming off actually did affect us a little bit as well, because Mustafi is, I know he's played right back, but he's not as good going forwards, obviously, and it doesn't offer you the same option up there. Iwobi, I think, coming off as well was a big loss, because I thought he had a really good game today. So we just kind of took our foot off the gas a little bit. I thought Ozil was quite good when he came on as well. I will give him some praise. He did some nice little passes. There was don't fall off your chair.
Did you really say that, or is that my hangover?
No, I really did say that. There was one particular moment where he did a really, really nice little flick around the corner. No look with his back to play. That was very, very good. I must say, Iwobi does one of them every game, but which he never gets praised for, other than from me. But no, I thought he was good today, and he was trying to pick up space and stuff and trying to make things happen. So look, I'm hoping that this is the start of. I know I'm not an Ozil fanboy or anything else, but I'm hoping this is the start of Emery going, okay, I finally got through to him. He's going to do what I ask of him. He's going to work harder in training. He's going to be available. And it means he can start to integrate him back into the team. Because, look, I'm not going to lie. We're obviously going to be a better team if Ozil's in it and he's playing well. Of course we are. You'd be stupid to not think that. And we, as much as being in the Champions League next season might actually be painful, because we might get flattened by some teams and get someone like Bayern Munich or Real Madrid, and it'll probably be a horrible result. We really need the money. The money it brings, and the sort of level of players that we can attract, because the squad does need a lot of overhaul, and I think most people agree with that. So yeah, Josh, don't be coming in my chat box, because you're not on today, so it's my chat box, and don't be coming in and saying that I'm stealing the captaincy of the Iwobi hype train. I was always on the Iwobi hype train, but I was critical of a player when they're not good enough.
Going the different direction of Josh's train.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
I gotta be honest, Dave. All this business between Unai and Ozil, okay? I see plenty of other players not tracking back. I see plenty of other players not doing what they're supposed to do, okay? And yet he's the one who's been singled out. And I got a bit of an issue with that, As if Unai makes top 4 or wins the Europa League, he's a success this season, right?
Yeah.
End of story. Not going to moan about it. I still can see a scenario where he leaves in the summer, though. And I think, the games against Southampton away, West Ham, etc., they were pretty damning, and some of the football we played has been dog shit. Mesut Ozil can make us a better team, and this is the thing. So I'm just wondering, what's been going on there? This is, all this business about him tracking back or getting through to him. I think that's utter bullshit.
I mean, if he has not been turning up for training, if that's true, then
if that's true,
that's the thing. We don't know. We're never going to know, really, realistically. And even if 10 years from now, Ozil writes a book and writes a chapter about this period at Arsenal, so it's going to be from his perspective, not from Unai's or the club's or whatever. So you're only ever going to hear it from one side, and you don't know how much truth is in that. But look, you just have to back the manager. And if like you said, if we get top 4 or we win the Europa League, I don't care what players he uses. It really doesn't bother me. That's the main thing. And I think if people were realistic about what their expectations were at the start of this season, regardless of how we've played or the performances we put out on the pitch or result or anything else, if you realistically go back to what everybody thought at the start of the season, then at the moment we're probably on par. I said we'd finish 5th. That was my prediction, and I said we'd probably just miss out on winning the Europa League. Maybe we get to semi-finals, maybe the final, and that was all I thought. That's all I expected from us. So if we do better than that, great. That, you know, that's above what I expect. And I think a lot of people would probably have said around the same, or maybe top 4, and we don't win the Europa League. You know, something like that. No one expected us to be 3rd or 2nd, or challenging for the title or anything.
I
yeah,
did,
but you're a loony like Chris.
Hold up, yeah. No, I looked at the squad we had. I looked at our away form last season, and if you improve the away form in last season and make us a bit sturdier, we, 3rd, I think, is definitely on the cards. I also think winning the Europa Cup, he can do it. Okay, I think we got enough players there. There's people making out this Europa Cup, our opposition in the Europa Cup to be stronger than it is, in my opinion. I think there's a couple of good teams in there. Don't get me wrong. But I think with the quality we got 100 million quid worth of strikers, okay? And we've got Mesut Ozil, Aaron Ramsey, blah, 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 blah. Yes, we needed some to steal up our defence, but he didn't do that, did he? I think, I don't think the squad needs a total overhaul. I think the squad needs a couple of players to come in, okay? And if he doesn't fancy certain players, get them gone. That's fine. But I think a lot has been made out of this than should have been. I think top 4 is prerequisite for him. We're in that position. So we've got to go for it. We'll answer Michael Hahnemann's question a little later. I think bringing Dennis fucking Suarez in the January window, utterly fucking pointless. And the reaction that Unai gave to, if I get a centre back in, it's going to cause me problems down the line. Well, what about the fucking problems we got on the pitch now? Because defensively we've been poor. But there you go.
I think that's probably why people thought we might struggle in the Europa League, because of our defence, not because of our forward line. I don't think anyone's questioning that.
Exactly, but there you go. Jay, Leno makes a great save from Matt Target, and to be fair, it was a super shot from Target, wasn't it? It was absolute. He connected to that. That was an absolute banger.
Yeah, no, it was a brilliant save, and myself and another Jason, my good friend at Loose Football on Twitter, was saying Leno probably our man of the match today. Got us out of some sticky situations, playing out from the back. Made not only that save against Target, but a couple other ones. And I know you were talking about him earlier, but if you look at the way, even the way that he's starting to command our box even better on set pieces. He had that one great punch just a little later after this as well, off of one of their corners when they were really starting to put some pressure on. And he's, the way he's come on is, I 100% agree with you, is the fact that, I don't think we need to go out and we need another backup. But Leno's our number 1 now. And he's played his way into that position, and he's been absolutely brilliant with, makeshift back fours and midfielders playing at right back, and, just a lot of movement in front of him, and he's remained steady and consistent and had some mistakes. And I think that's what you're going to get. He's still young for a goalkeeper as well. But he is our goalkeeper, and I think we finally have, somebody in there who we can rely on for years to come now. But yeah, absolutely brilliant save, getting 2 fists to it, not punching it back into a place where they can get another shot, but punching it out of play. So really, really great goalkeeping from him all day. And again, his distribution and his sort of presence on the ball when we're trying to play out of the back and being pressed has really helped, I think, sort of calm our ship since probably the start of the new year, especially.
Yeah, that's fair play. John, last thing I've got on here is Aubameyang. He breaks into the box. I think he was trying to cross it. I think he got a bit confused, and it was just embarrassing, the shot, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a little bit. Look, I've dug him out a few times for some of the misses he makes. but he's our top goal scorer, and he's banging it. I think he's like 5 in 3 or something in the league. His record at the moment, something stupid like that. So I'm not going to complain as long as he keeps scoring goals at the rate he is. He can fall over and have silly haircuts and do his little handshake and dances and stuff with Lacazette and the little bromance they've got going on. I love the fact that if it's just one of them playing, they immediately go to the other one on the sideline and celebrate together. They just want each other to score goals. So yeah, it's really good.
I to be fair, I've loved. I was a bit doubtful on Aubameyang when we bought him, but I love the way his attitude is at this club. I just love his attitude, and yes, he's going to miss some, but his goals for record is excellent. So well done, Aubameyang. That was the game. Some really good football in there today from us, which was a nice change. I really enjoyed it. I'm hoping for more of the same from Unai and the boys. A disappointing second half, I think is fair to say. But, look, it's a 2-0 win, and it's all about the W's at the moment. Should we go to questions, lads?
Yeah, I've just got a good stat for you, actually, Jace. So at the moment, we are on track to get more points than we did last season. So that is an improvement, although obviously other teams around us have improved. But which team do you think has got the most Premier League home points this season?
Us.
No, but we are joint second with Liverpool. Man City, you've got 39. Us and Liverpool have both got 35.
Okay.
That's a pretty good record considering you look at the injuries and stuff and everything else we've had, especially at the back line.
Oh, the injuries! We had a good home record last season. We had a great home record last season. This is the bit. This is the bit. For me, Unai Emery. I like Unai Emery. I think he's an honest guy. I think he's, I think there's some things going on in the background where, we were not going to be privy to, and that has forced his hand a little bit at times. But the one thing that annoys me is this chopping and changing, going to a back five. It's, it's really been frustrating, that has. But, I hope Unai does well. I really do. When I tell you, I think I can see a scenario where he goes in the summer. I don't want that to happen. I want him to do well at this club. I really do. I think it's, I want the club to do well. Because I'm an Arsenal fan. I don't want to see us chopping and changing managers, but some of the football we played has been dog shit, and I'm not gonna ignore it. I'm not gonna paper over the cracks. Do you know what I mean? We were talking. We've spoken all season, and I think we've always tried to be pretty honest about what we see on the pitch. I don't think there's anybody on ABW who's not honest about what they see on the pitch. You can try to be positive about it at times, but sometimes you actually have to call it what it is. Today was a good day.
Yeah.
And let's not knock anybody for that,
And as lazy as the second half was, there was still some really good play in there. It just didn't have the urgency of the first half. And that was the difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The intensity dropped off, didn't it? And that was disappointing because I think, if we got a hammer team like Southampton and send them down, which I'd love to, it will give us a lot more confidence going forward, and the team can bed in and really start to express themselves, which is what we all want to see. Right, so let's go to some questions. Jay, we're going to start with you, and this is from Matt LR28 on Twitter, and he says, question for the Q&As, what is a Mkhitaryan and what are you meant to do with one if you are the manager?
Well, a Mkhitaryan is a footballer who, as our good friend and manager from Italy, Gattuso, used to say, is sometimes a little shit, sometimes a little great, right? I may have started that a little bit, but that's what he is. He's inconsistent, sort of like a lot of our team is right now. And while I do think we need to upgrade and get an upgrade in on him over the summer, he is in the team right now, and he played very well today. And we're gonna have to take the good with the bad, unfortunately, with him, and hope that we get more good than bad, because even some of the performances he's had this season that have been terrible. He's had an assist. He's got a goal. He's put some end product in, even if he's really, not tracked back and given the ball away sloppily in places. he definitely has put in some some goals and some assists for us. So it's one of those things where he is who we have right now. We're gonna probably stick with him, especially if we play like we did today with 4 at the back. I think that probably suits his game for us a little bit better, and we just have to hope that he continues to remain consistent and consistently good for us. But definitely need an upgrade over him in the summer.
Yeah, he's a talented player. He really is. I love his interplay sometimes, but he has been frustrating this season.
Yeah.
John, Tronry14 from Twitter asks, Iwobi divides opinion. For me, he has everything but the final ball. I think we look better with him in it. What do you guys think?
I really like Iwobi. He's got flaws in his game. He doesn't play the ball first time enough sometimes, and his decision making isn't quite there. I do think it's an age issue. He's never going to go on to be a world beater. I don't think. I think he's going to be a very good Premier League player. I think he'll be a great squad player. He's someone who, like, if he stayed at Arsenal for the next 10 years, I'll be very happy.
Yeah.
Because he gives you an option. He can play either side. Yes, he's better from the left. I do think he's got more room to develop, that's for sure. But the way he carries the ball, the strength he's already got, his footwork is amazing. Some of the passes he did today were actually really, really good. I mean, I know his link-up play with Kolasinac has been spoken about quite a bit already, and that's good. But there was one pass in particular, crossfield ball out for Mkhitaryan run, just completely side through Southampton. It was a beautiful pass, and if it was Ozil or Iniesta or whoever else, it'd be on the highlight reels and stuff. So, yeah, I think he's a good player. I understand the slack he gets. He can be frustrating, but I think in terms of he's going to give the ball away. That's fine. If he gives the ball away on the opposition box, I don't have a problem with that. He's trying to make something and trying to make and create. He's not going to be perfect 100% of the time. The one thing I would say the positive of that is if he loses the ball, he's always the first one to track back and try and win it back. His work rate is fantastic. I think maybe he's learned that a little bit from Danny Welbeck in that sense. So, look, if we can get an upgrade, I'll take it. But I wouldn't want to get rid of him.
He has improved, hasn't he? And I think one of the things you got to look at is, we've got certain players like Nacho, Koscielny, etc., all coming to the end of their careers. Okay, these are the areas we're going to have to spend some money on. You don't want to be wasting money on replacing a player who's starting to develop really well. And whilst like we all say, we understand the some of the criticism Iwobi gets. I think he's manned up and he's faced a lot of it, and he's doing really well for himself this season. And long may he continue to improve. John Bernstein asks, why do we look so much better home than away? And should Wembley be considered a home game for us?
Yes, it should be. And everybody, the best teams are always better home than away. It's the familiarity. It's the with the surroundings. It's you're closer to home. You're probably sleeping in your own bed the night before. Like, there's a lot of that sort of just mental stuff that goes into it that you're just more comfortable and more suited. Plus, you get in the stadium and you've got majority of the fans singing your name, getting behind you. That's why the best teams are good at home and can take points almost assuredly whenever they're on their home turf. And I think a lot of it has to do with our mentality. I think the way that Emery has been setting up with 3 at the back and has been a little more cautious on the road has something to do with it. When we have the talent to go on the road and play attacking football and not necessarily have to counter and concede as much possession to some of these smaller to mid-table teams like we have at times this season, which has been, I think, my most disappointing sort of thing with Emery from a philosophical standpoint this season is he hasn't really, gone after it away from home, because I think we've gotten burned a couple of times and now he's just overly cautious. But you should win. The good teams win at home, and it's because of the familiarity. You got the fans behind you, and that plays a lot into it. And let's just be glad that, the team down the road from us is homeless right now. That's all point in that.
Nice.
Can't even afford a cheese room.
Yeah, what's happened with the cheese room then?
They haven't got the budget for it now. Apparently, cheese has gone up too much. I don't know.
No. I'm not being funny, okay? The only thing more embarrassing than having a cheese room is having to cancel having a cheese room. Fucking. I hate them. Did you see Poch lose it yesterday? I wonder if he's going to get a 5-match ban like bloody Arsene or whatever it was.
No, he won't.
Did. Scummy little club, aren't they? John, Pete Coulson, and we're all going to answer this, actually. Pete Coulson's come in with a cracker of a question. One player we should have sold in the last 3 years and one player we should have kept. Discuss, amigos, he says.
Ooh. That's a tough. Before I jump into that, Blair Slater, as usual, Slater out, straight in with a donation as he leaves. Thanks so much, Blair. Amazing, always.
Blair,
thank you.
Absolute star. International man of mystery, Blair Slater. We love you, pal. Thank you.
Great.
I'll tell you
for
what,
3 years. God, dear.
I'm going to give you one.
Go on then.
I'm going to give you one. One player we should have sold, Aaron Ramsey.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's the fair one. That makes perfect sense, obviously, with the fact he's leaving. We could have taken 50 million, maybe not from United, but it would have been a little bit less if we'd sold him to someone abroad. But I think that would have been a sensible sale. Who should we have kept?
I got one. I have one for us to keep.
Is it Nabry?
Is your centre back?
Chesney.
Yeah, Chesney is the obvious one.
Wojciech Chesney. Get rid of the old coach who made him garbage for us. Because if you see what he's doing for Juve now, it's really good, and that's the one thing. My shout to keep somebody was actually going to be Aaron Ramsey.
That's good. Yeah, you can go either way with Ramsey. Actually, can't you?
The last 3 years was going to be Aaron Ramsey.
It's one of those, isn't it? My annoyance with the Ramsey situation is we're losing for nothing. Yeah, I just think it's mental.
No, it is.
But yeah, keep him or sell him. It's one or the other.
My other selfish shout for the player that we should have kept was Olivier Giroud. That's for purely sexual reasons. Nothing else. Nothing else than that.
Hashtag man crush. Nabry's a good shout, John. Yeah, I like Nabry. One player we should have kept. Anybody mentioning Gabriel? You're a lunatic. You're idiots. That boy is a fucking mental case. I'm sorry, okay? It's absolutely nuts. It is. I can't think of anybody else, actually.
Oxlade-Chamberlain was maybe one.
No.
Bollocks. He had opportunities. He never won the place. He's a talented footballer, and I really like him. I really like the Ox.
Who
but
should
he never won this.
Other than Ramsey, John, who would you have sold?
It's really difficult. I mean, maybe Welbeck before he was injured. Nothing against Welbeck, but I just think you would have got a decent fee to another Premier League team just because he's English, and you could have reinvested that somewhere. The only other one would have been maybe Nacho 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I think you could have got a fair price for him. Again, I really like Nacho, and I think he's been a great player for us, but it's money you could have reinvested and just change the age profile of the squad a little bit.
Yeah, we are an old squad now, aren't we? That's the worrying part, and it's. I think one of the things Unai has to look at is how to improve the young players we've got. Mustafi gets loads of stick.
Yeah,
technically he's very good. If you can get his concentration levels right and stop him going to ground, all of a sudden you've got a decent centre half.
Oh, Archie's got a good shout. Wilshere 3 years ago, that would have been a good one. And Nexus One also says we should have kept Arsene Wenger.
I will always love Arsene Wenger. I don't shit when anybody says it. It was right time for him to go, but my God, I love that man. Well, actually, John, because we've all answered that, I'm going to stick with you for this one. Where the fuck am I? Marcus Hodges asks, are we overplaying in the box? Seems like some of our players are missing opportunities on goal by trying to make that last pass in tight areas. Now, you know a lot about playing in the box, John.
No comment. Yeah.
Yes! Everyone's a winner, baby.
Can't get through one show without some sort of joke or reference, can you? Just can't help yourself. Can't help yourself.
The one thing I will say about John, he doesn't get too cute in the box. That's for sure.
I don't stay in there that long. As for overplaying the box, yeah, a little bit. I do get that. I do think sometimes there's a few times where you just think, just pull the trigger and have a shot, and they go for the extra pass or whatever. It's just the way we play, and it's always that, we could have had a shot there, but this man is technically open. So we'll go for this one instead. And it did actually happen a couple of times today. The one thing I do like is that we have a couple of players like Torreira's come in, and he likes to take a shot on if it opens up for him. I like the fact that Iwobi is willing to, although he should have today probably played the passing, but at least he's willing to have a go. Kolasinac as well loves a blast. So we've got a few of them. We just need to get that mentality into the team a little bit more.
Yeah, decision making will come into. Stefan Selby asks, was that Leno's best game for us? Thought that clean sheet was all him.
Yeah, no, I do think it was his best game for us in terms of shot stopping and in terms of organization at the back. Looked really solid on set pieces as well. And then, of course, we all know that really one of the main reasons he was brought in was because his ability on the ball and his distribution, which I think was really good today. Kicked it away when he really needed to, and then sort of played the simple pass out from the back when he needed to as well. So really, really good there. Again, we've mentioned it sort of already on here about just how well he's playing in the last sort of month to 2 months, and really good. Czech keeps a clean sheet on Thursday. Now we get our second clean sheet in a row with our second keeper. So let's just continue to make sure that we build and continue to give Leno that confidence that he can do that with that defense in front of him.
Absolutely. Mike Hernandez asked earlier on about Socrates. Now, has he been better than we thought? Well, let's be honest. Everybody knows my thoughts on Socrates at the beginning of the season. I was over the top with him. Let's make no bones about that. I think he has far exceeded my expectations on what he was going to be like. But I don't think he's a world beater either. I think our defence is still... He got clean sheet today. The boys played well today, so you can't knock them. But there are too many games where we leave in cheap, silly goals. It's not so much what he does that annoys me. It's what he doesn't do and where he isn't at. I think, he could be, we should have gone in and spent some money on centre-back, some proper money. But, a lot of people will disagree with me. That's fine. As I say, he's been a lot better than I thought he was going to be. But I think he's overhyped as well.
Jace, on this as well, I think one of the biggest things to me that was a surprise today, and I'd love to hear both of your thoughts on this as well. I think when the ball is on the ground, Mustafi and Socrates are excellent defenders. When the ball is coming in from the side, that's where we have conceded what I feel is like a majority of our goal of not marking that man that's in between the center backs. And I was very surprised with somebody like Shane Long, who's known to get a goal against us, that they weren't just lobbing balls into him, or not Shane Long, but Charlie Austin when he came on. We're not just launching balls into him, trying to pick out that dead space that we typically tend to have. But I think that's been my biggest issue with Socrates has been, off of set pieces, him and Mustafi do not look like they're on the same page. But when the ball's on the ground, I think they've actually been pretty positionally sound, especially today.
I see the thing I see from us is because Unai wants the fullbacks to press up so high, okay, because they get up so high, we get caught a lot of the time, and the midfield don't drop in often enough to help out the centre backs. I think Mustafi and Socrates are very good headers of the ball, to be fair. Okay, it's just that it's a positional thing more than anything. You know, I don't know, John, what are your thoughts on that? Because I think positionally at times, it's like when we got caught with the offside trap early on in the game. We were all at sea. Nobody knew what was happening. And that's where we let ourselves down a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think the problem is when you play, though, Mustafi and Socrates in particular, and just sort of to reference the question, right, Socrates has been much better than I thought he would be when he came in, and also quicker than I thought he was as well. He's quite impressive.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. Sorry.
But the one thing is when you play the two of them, they're both quite aggressive in how they go for the ball. Which isn't a bad thing. I don't mind a centre-back who steps up and attacks to try and win the ball. But the problem comes when you have two centre-backs who both like to do that. You can leave it in space in behind. And obviously, because we push our fullbacks on, it does make us positionally very weak. And often at times, Xhaka is the deepest player, but he's not actually our DM. Torreira is, and he's trying to win the ball higher up the pitch, which means if they manage to win the ball or we give a loose pass or anything, a break on us, we are going to be out of shape defensively. So I think it's in part down to the system I play more than the players themselves, if you know what I mean. If that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it does. Right, let's go on then. Alan D'Souza asks, is it concerning that we miss so many opportunities and a bigger team would have beaten us today? John?
It's a little bit. I mean, today it doesn't matter, obviously, because we won the game and it's fine. Against the bigger teams, yeah, you're going to get punished if you don't take your chances. That's always been the case. I think also there is a certain amount of when you play the bigger teams, we probably will play better than maybe we did today. I know that sounds a little bit counterintuitive, but I just think players generally tend to raise their level when they're playing against better opposition. So perhaps like the second half, you don't see the drop off as much and that kind of thing. Like in the terms of the tempo and the speed of play.
That's fair play. Jay, Marcus Hodges asked, does anyone think Saeed has improved a bit on his defensive side? Still prone to mistakes, but has he improved?
It's probably gonna sound real bad. No, I don't think he has. I don't think. I don't know how. I don't. It's hard to for me. It's hard to explain with him because we all know how great he is going forward. I think a lot of the times where he is poor defensively is when he gets sucked up so far up the pitch. And yeah, he's like a pacey guy, but he gets sucked so far up the pitch that he can't get back, and that's when we leave like the Koscielny's and the Socrates exposed, and that's where I think one-on-one defending. I know he got done sort of at the edge of the box today, just overplayed just a little bit, and you know I forgot exactly who it was that went right by him. They also went by Torreira at the same time, who also overplayed in the opposite direction. They basically just passed each other. But I think what helps is the fact of, I think why he looked a little more assured is because Iwobi did come back further than we've probably seen at other times when we've played in a back four. And I was a bit worried when I saw that we were at a back four with Kolasinac as that fullback, because I think we all agree that Nacho is the better of the two defensively, and I don't think there's a large drop off with Nacho going forward versus Kolasinac either. Just to be fair. But I think for me his biggest thing is he just gets sucked so far the pitch that it's just more of a positional thing than it is a one-on-one thing, and that's when we start to call him out on not being as good defensively.
No, fair enough. John. Matt D'Souza asks, should we stick with Mustafi at right back if Lichtsteiner is injured?
Ooh, it's tough. I mean, he looked okay and he looked fairly comfortable. The problem or the issue I'd have with that is that we've got literally 3 centre-backs. and you're putting them all out on the pitch at once. So it becomes an issue in terms of if someone gets an injury or something like that. So I'm not sure I would. I think I'd probably favour Maitland-Niles to come in at right back. And again, it's not a knock on Mustafi. It's more the fact of if someone, if Socrates or Koscielny or someone like that picks up an injury, then that becomes an issue. And of course, not forgetting the lesser spotted Cole Jenkinson.
Yeah, but let's be honest, he's only going to play 3 at the back instead anyway.
I mean, yeah, then he might just play all 3 centre backs and put Maitland-Niles right wing back. I don't look. I already said I've got no idea what Unai's going to do. I'm just saying what I would do.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Jay, Jesus. Ronry asks, we need a replacement sub for Mickey. He was missing the whole of the second half. Do you agree or disagree?
A lot of our players went missing in the second half, and we just coasted. So I think it's unfair necessarily to call out Mkhitaryan because he did have some decent defensive plays where I saw him pick up the ball and harass and harry and allow Torreira or Xhaka to come in and put a tackle in. So I think it's a bit harsh to call him out on having a poor second half because not too many players really were spectacular in the second half. But no, I don't think we would have needed a sub for him. I think it was fine for him to finish. It just like we've stated here before, there was just no intensity really from anybody in a red shirt for the second 45.
No, fair play. I'm going to answer this one. And Michael Hahnemann asks, what was the point of assigning Denis Suarez? And obviously, I mentioned it earlier on in the show. I don't get me wrong. This isn't a knock on Denis Suarez. He looks a neat and tidy player. From what we saw last week from him, not the Barty game because I didn't see it. Who did we play last week, boys?
Nobody.
What in the league?
Yeah, we didn't play last.
I can't remember our last league game was now.
Wasn't it Huddersfield?
Is that the last?
Yeah,
one?
it may be Huddersfield.
Yeah.
But he was looking for the ball. He was always, it was pass move, and he was always looking for the return ball. I really like that about him. My issue with the Denis Suarez signing is, we've only got 3 fit centre backs, as has been mentioned, and yet we buy a midfielder, or we'd be bringing the midfielder on loan. Don't tell me there wasn't
the ghost of Arsene Wenger still haunting our transfer policies.
Hey, don't worry. Mikel Arteta will do a job against WBA. You know what I mean?
What's funny about the Suarez thing, Jace, was when you looked at the bench today, I thought the kid's not going to play at all today.
Nah,
when was the last time our bench was that strong?
Exactly. And so it's the size of it. I hear people saying you've got to give Emery 3 or 4 transfer windows. That's fine. He's had one, and we've brought in a midfielder when we get 3 fit centre backs. That's fucking lunacy. It's a stupidity.
I mean, you've also got to take into account that he may have been financially restricted, and the target centre back they've got that they do want to sign might not be available until the summer.
That's fine. I don't mind that, but you could have brought a loan player in.
Or
don't tell me
that Emery's not in control of it, and it was Sinlehi who decided to do this and just stuck Emery with this decision when Emery was crying out for a center back.
Yeah,
maybe so. But at that point, then they're obviously not working together. It's obviously the Sanlehi show, if that is the case of it. Okay, and that worries me. I don't like Sanlehi at all. I'm not sold on him whatsoever. I think there's things that have happened over the season at the club. There's an awful lot of briefing. What did I see come out? I was in the last blog this week, and apparently there was a quote attributed to Ornstein where the club, an insider at the club, now think 2 years ago they thought that Aaron Ramsey wasn't going to sign the new contract. This briefing coming out consistently. It's making me a bit sick to my stomach because that's utter bullshit. Do you know what I mean? If that was the case, it would have been mentioned 2 years ago. And an insider at the club. Most of the backroom staff have left with them with Arsene. So where's this information coming from? I don't like the way he works. I think he's a slimy fuck. There you go. But I don't understand why we couldn't have brought in a centre-back to cover on loan for 6 months, whether it be Gary Cahill or anybody, because, if Koscielny goes down injured, and with his injury history recently, we're relying on Socrates and Mustafi, and Socrates' injury record this season has been, hasn't been great. He's been out for periods. So, you're looking at that and you think, it's not the player, as in Suarez, I got an issue with. It's the position we bought.
Yeah.
And there was light, John Welsh. There was light,
yeah.
Last question, and this is for all of us. Mike Hertz says, and he's at AFC Circuit 86. My wife called me during the live radio show, and I've pretty much missed it all. Question for the pod: should I divorce?
I refuse to answer that on the basis that I might give out bad advice at times.
Mike, keep her. Mike, keep her. Don't divorce her. If she puts up with a gooner, she's all right, to be fair to her. Jay, your opinion?
Staying out of this one as well. Anything I say can will use me in a court of law.
Good man. Right. We're coming towards the end of the show. A couple of shout outs in a second, but I got a little bit of an announcement. On behalf of myself, my hometown football club, Armandford Town, Armandford FC, they lost one of their own this week, a young lad called Jack Lewis. I didn't know Jack very well. He was a bonkers fun guy. He really was. Unfortunately, he's taken his own life, and it goes back to what we constantly say at the end of shows. Guys, if you are suffering from any mental health issues, please talk to somebody. There are a lot of people in my hometown who are absolutely heartbroken this week, and it's just so sad to see a young man take his own life, not being able to deal with the situation that his life is in. So do yourselves a favor, people. Please, please, please be good to yourself. Jack Lewis is a lovely young guy, and he's going to be sadly missed by a lot of people. I didn't know him very well, but he was a real character. He always struck me as a good guy, fun, and it's just horrible to see friends going through this. So please, people, if you are facing any medical issues whatsoever, get them seen to. If you're struggling with something in your life, please, please, please talk to somebody. Mr. Bob Lex puts in there, Calm is a good organization for that. There are organizations out there to help you, okay? Whether whether it's just needing somebody to talk to, or whether it's something that you need to get seen to, do it. Be brave. Look after yourselves. Your life is valuable. We see so many people in the chat box who we think the world of, even the ones that annoy us, even the ones that don't disagree with us. It doesn't matter. Fucking take care of yourselves. Be brave. Get it seen to, people, because it's just shit seeing this sort of thing happen. Nobody wants to see it. We want you to have happy, good lives. So please take care of yourselves. On to a brighter note. To the chat box, thank you ever so much. But you're letting yourselves down a little bit. I've only got 98 likes. Tappy, get me to 100 now, please. Let's go. A special shout outs to Yvonne Okafor, Michael Hahnemann, Mike Hernandez, and the one and only Blair Slater. Guys, you're all rock stars. Thank you ever so much. To those of you listening on any other platform, whether it be iTunes, whether it be Stitcher, it doesn't matter. You're fantastic. Thank you for your support. Good 2-0 win today. Let's hope we keep it going midweek against Bournemouth. On the Bournemouth show, I think it's John Welsh, I think it's Danny, and I think it's... Who else is it? Is it Carl?
It is Danny, Carl, and me. Yeah.
Woohoo!
That's it. I do have a quick announcement to make as well.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Before we go, yeah. So today's show we were supposed to be doing, because we hit 1 million views on YouTube. We were supposed to be doing our Santi Cazorla signed shirt giveaway, and second prize Tony Adams book, and I think there was a third prize for Danny socks, but nobody wants those. There's minor little problem some of you might have seen, and I know some people in the chat box have already seen. Danny kind of cocked it up, because, you know, I made the whole thing about me being an adult and him not being able to organise anything. I said to Danny, right, give me the list of names and I'll put it in this website and it will randomly pick someone. And we can't get the list of names because Twitter won't let you look to see how many people have actually retweeted it. It's only 35 or something out of the however many. So the competition goes on for 1 more week. So what we'll do is we will do it for the Spurs game. So we'll do it at the end of the Tottenham game, because then, regardless of the result, obviously we'll win because it's Spurs. We always win. But regardless of the result, someone's going to get some good news for sure. So now, if you've already entered via Facebook or whatever, don't worry about it. That's fine. We've got that. We can see everyone who's entered on there. But if you did do the Twitter thing and you retweeted, go and look at our pin tweet now and just reply to it. Just, it doesn't matter what you say. You can say whatever you like. You can put Tappy or your favorite Arsenal player, or it doesn't matter what it is. You can literally just put a letter or a number, and then that way we can actually see everyone and put them all in the draw. Because yeah, Twitter won't let us look at every single person who's retweeted it. I don't know why, but it's the way it's done. So it's still Danny's fault. It's not my fault. I'm still the adult and I still organise everything properly, but it's definitely Danny's fault. Yeah. Sorry, people, if you expected the draw today. So 1 more week. There you go.
In all fairness, I decided how we were going to do the competitions.
So it's actually it's Jason's fault. Yeah, it's definitely Jason's fault.
Sorry, apologies. I blame Twitter. Fuck Twitter. In any case, that's it for today, guys. We will announce the Santi Cazorla shirt next week. We will get our shit together. Please reply to that tweet. Get yourselves involved in the competition, because somebody's going to get lucky, and it's a really, really nice prize. And my thanks to you, John, and my thanks to you, Shreds. Great show. Really enjoyed your company, lads.
Pleasure as always, mate.
It is a pleasure to do this with me, and my hangover is receding. So, John, on that note, up the Arsenal, switch this shit off.